Gosh damn it. I hope that I can actually get through the whole thing this time. I'm trying to make a video, probably not that interesting, it doesn't matter, but I really want to talk about it, and I can't talk about it over TF2. I need to have some shitty half-drawn visuals about... I have to wonder why it feels like every game on Earth is designed to have at least one thing that ruins a lot of its potential, and obviously the place to point is myself and say there's something wrong with the way I'm thinking, the way I'm doing things, because it's like it's just happens like SpongeBob, where it's like the whole world is growing or the whole world is shrinking, and it's like, no, it's just you. But I feel like I have valid points in almost every instance of this, so I have to think about them and I want to bring them up. Unfortunately, the last recording I was just doing was ruined when I was actually getting to a good part because of some stupid people calling a support line for a business for, time to make a cleaner environment. And do this is just an automated voice message thing. There's all these little things in the world that they can ruin stuff just by being this tiny little problem in the way. How you could like direct the flow of an entire group of people with a single piece of tape. But anyways, let me get down to what in games that bothers me so much. So we're gonna start with a very simple example. A game called Broforce. If you don't know what Broforce is, it's a 2D platforming shoot game where you get one hit, you die, and there's like messages from your system, obviously. No, I'm kidding. One hit, you're dead. Right. Tons of bullets everywhere a lot of the time. It's kind of funny, but you usually get through the level with enough tries. And there's like 30 or 40 different characters that you'll unlock over time. You start with like, I think, one. And every time you get an extra life, which you do by finding these cages with bros in them, you become a different bro, completely random bro. You don't know which character you're going to be, and you can never choose, right? And this is the only problem I have with the entire game. I have gripes that I could list, but this is the only thing that holds the game back. Why? Because they're so adamant. They believe that this is the best feature of the game. They really do. They understand so little, in my opinion, from what I believe about what matters to people and what they're doing to people with this system. They think that because this is in place, it keeps the game lively and random and adaptive. Like, you never know who you're going to be, and then you got to make do with who it is. Right? Like, this to them, this idea is the staple of the entire game. It's the pillar in the house that keeps it all together, and that if you took it out, there'd be nothing special about it. It would just be some like fucking tent, I guess, the roof left over. I disagree. I so heavily disagree. I want to just scream at them that this is stupid. Because, like, if you're constantly getting a random character that you don't know, or often not even that you don't know, because you get to play every single one of them at least once, that you've never gotten to truly experiment with, because you only get them for so long, so you never learn any muscle memory, you never learn any tricks or tactics with them, unless you spend a lot of time with the character while you have it. You could easily get one of the several bros that you don't enjoy, that you hate, and then when you ever get one of the few ones that you really love, that are super fun, one stray bullet, sorry, you're back to finding cage after cage after cage after cage after cage after cage, trying to get one of the ones that you either like or just, that you can deal with or bear with, because it's like, whatever, okay, this guy, oh boy, he has a rocket launcher, except in this game, all a rocket launcher really means is it's a really slow moving bullet that often will still only kill one enemy and destroys dirt a little bit better. Except that since you can only aim it horizontally, it doesn't really matter since bullets destroy dirt pretty well too. The rockets are super underwhelming in this game, to say the least. My gosh. Like, why don't you just add a character select? I mean, worst comes to worst, you could make it after they beat the game at least once the way that you want it to be done. Or after they've unlocked every single character, which means they've played a ton already. Like, why do you have to force this stupid ideal of yours on people and ruin the potential of your game? Ruin, like, I have so many friends who every time I buy the game for them just to see, and we all try to play and try to enjoy it, but we end up getting so little out of it because it's just constant streak of frustration. It's hard not to die in a game you're not already used to. So it's hard to even get to enjoy or play with the characters in question. I feel like the developers just don't care about the people who play, that they played it all themselves already. They have infinite time with any character they want. And they've gotten to experiment, play with it, so it's like every time they get the character, they're like, oh, this one again, whatever, I've already done everything with this. You're not thinking about the people who've never played. They just got on and they're like, oh my gosh, this character's so exciting and interesting. I want to play with them or experiment with them. Why can't you just add a little more depth to some of the characters that people hate instead of worrying about whether or not they'll ever even touch it and it'll be just unused stupid content? Because there's one character, the Die Hard guy. All he does is shoot bullets and throw confusion grenades. You know what the confusion grenades do? They blow up. They make all the characters in the area freak out and start shooting each other, but that can often include killing you too. And now you basically just set off all the characters that normally have a delay before they shoot at you anyways. Like, what? Why would I even want to use that? It's pointless. It's a waste of time. I could usually just run through any situations that the grenade will even reach. Like, maybe if it blew up on contact, it would be useful because I could, and if I could aim it, I guess. But if I could throw it, get a little longer delay out of the guys who get confused for a second before they start shooting, and then run past them. This is just one of the examples that I'm talking about here. I'm not trying to change Broforce. I'm trying to make a point that, like, I have these feelings and these thoughts immediately when I play games. I always find there's just one thing that wastes so much time, adds so much depression to the game, where it's like, fuck, I didn't get this character, fuck, I lost the character I wanted, fuck, I died again and I don't even know why, instead of just making one change to make all that not matter, to save a lot more time, and just kill all of this in like one line. Just add a character select after they beat the game. All of this is gone. All this like bad feelings don't matter anymore. If they get to enjoy the game as much as they want, they'll go through each of the interesting bros and have tons of replay value instead of hoping they get one for a little short spit after they get filled with all the other crap they don't enjoy. And then another example of this is a game called Enter the Gungeon. I'm going to use texting this time. It's tiring. Try to write it out. And damn it. Enter the Gungeon. I can't see this. Sorry, I'm wasting time on this. Very curious. There we go. Enter the Gungeon. There it is. This game is awesome and a nightmare at the same time. It wants you to be a controller user, whether they admit that from the beginning or not. It wants you to use a controller because if you don't, I know it's ugly drawing, forgive me. If you don't use the controller, you will have only 8 directional movement at full speed. Good luck dodging 100 million bullets that way that are all the size of a soccer ball. some of them might be more like tennis balls, but you know what I mean. All at varying speeds that are honestly pretty slow. So they all build up in this big group unless you start killing the enemies fast enough, which would require you to get a good enough gun to do it, because your starter gun's not going to hold up, because every single floor you go down, enemies inexplicably get stronger. Even though there's different colored enemies, they're going to make the regular ones stronger too, have more life, so you have to hope that you get a better gun that you could get on any floor. So you might not get the better gun until the last floor. You get rolled down by every hit. The dodge roll you can use to avoid hits is the same distance every single time, so it's not reliable, because if you do that, you might end up hitting one of the stray bullets that's moving at random speeds in random directions. It's not random. You could perceive the characters on the floor if you wanted to. What's my proposed solution to this? What? Do I want controlled dodge rolling that makes more sense and allows you to avoid things? That'd be nice, but it might be a little unreasonable or too hard for them to code. Let's go with the easiest possible solution for this whole sack of garbage. And this: add more health. Just a little more. Including on Chamber 5, the Nightmare Hole. Do I want better items and less of the stupid items? Do I want more effective weapons? Sure. But you get what you get. It's random. It's a roguelike. But the fact is, you don't get enough hearts in this game at all to make up for the fact that you will get hit unavoidably. They're expecting you to only need as many hearts as you might get hit if you're investing all your focus and time in the game. Can I get to Chamber 5 consistently if I tried my hardest? Yeah. Should I be trying my hardest in something called a video game? No. No. No, I shouldn't. I should be enjoying myself. I should be trying and working on my muscle memories and my skills. Sure. But the amount of attention and detail I have to pay attention to analyze each and every timing of every enemy in the room and all the bullets that they put out is just, it's too much. Maybe I'm stupid. That might be it. I might just be stupid. But it's really ridiculous to me that they expect so much. They give you things called blanks that are supposed to help, but as far as I'm concerned, blanks are just another way of saying, oh look, it's another half heart, because it'll allow you to avoid damage by sacrificing it, and it costs the exact same as a half heart. There's minor differences. A blank destroys all the bullets in the room, but the bullets will come back really shortly anyways, because it only stops them from firing for like a fourth of a second. It's the whole frustration I have with this game that makes it so difficult could be solved by just adding a little more drops or a little more hearts in total. Because if you could heal a little more often, then you wouldn't have to panic so much every time you got hit. You'd want to do better, because maybe you could add something, some reward system, like, hey, if you're in full health, you'll get more stuff. Of course, they tried that to some degree, where they have, you know, the bosses that you fight. If you beat this big, mean, angry boss, and you beat him without getting hit by any of his bullets, like, he's like, how are you dodging all this shit? Then you get an extra heart container, which is super mega important, but you'll only get it if you manage to dodge every single one of his gosh damn insane bullets, as he's always approaching you in a box room. He's always trying to get right up in your face, shoving tons and tons of bullets. And good luck dodging on a keyboard. Unless you get the right weapons, the right items, or just the right timing, you're going to get hit by one of those, and you're going to miss out on this really important reward. There's a lot of items that help you that would stop this from happening, but you don't always get them. Sometimes you get stupid stuff like, hey, look, this will cost you 100 money, but it makes it so all your blanks have a chance to poison enemies. What? Why do I care? Poison's not going to kill them fast enough. It's not going to help. And blanks are so rare and not often, like, I don't get them often enough that I'm going to waste them on poisoning a room full of enemies. I'm destined to shoot down most of them anyways, even if that worked. It's ridiculous. This whole game. Just one minor balance tweak and the whole thing's dead on, but nope, that's not gonna happen. And I'm always left to wonder, like, am I right about this? Am I just crazy? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Because, I haven't developed any games. I wasn't there with them when they made their decisions. So, can you understand how maddening it is to feel so strongly about that? And then wonder, is it my fault? Am I just stupid? Am I selfish? Am I a bastard? Because that's all I can think about, is wondering why it is that I feel so strongly about this, and it makes so much sense to me, and yet I could be completely wrong. One last example, and of course this isn't at a specific like professional game developer. This is just at, and not even Minecraft itself, because that's just its own brand of like whatever. It does what it's supposed to do correctly. It's not what I want, but I'm gonna attack mod developers here. The people who take Minecraft, this game that, in all honesty, is meant to be a map maker and the 3D MS Paint. It's not a game. It's a tool. And that's how it's been treated in every single update up until now. Even the Adventure update didn't do it right. It tried, but whatever. Microsoft knows where to go with it and what people are getting out of it, or the primary amount of people are playing it. Anyways, mod makers have been excessively stupid for a long time, and it is every single one of them that is driving me nuts. They have too much time on their hands. They have to. They have to have played their mod too much and not realized what they're doing, because they keep adding step after step after step after step, that the first time someone comes in is just like, what the hell? Most of them are like little kids. They're like, I don't think about anything. I don't have a job. I have hours and hours of spare time. So I can memorize these things one after another in order to get that super duper cool jetpack item that, like, look, I can fly around, guys. Whoa, it's so exciting and fun. Except there's people like me who have eyes that go, this item, alright, I'm already imagining, if I have this, what will I do with it? What are the options I have with it? Okay, it's not really that exciting, because everything that it does for me I can usually prepare and set up and do ahead of time anyways. It'll help me a lot in getting around stuff like the Nether, but why do I want to get around the Nether? I keep asking why and thinking steps and steps ahead, and all the jetpack does is take out creativity of any kind of like movement or knowledge, and just allows me to go from point A to point B in a really cheesy way that makes it almost like there's not even a game left to do. I'll fight the dragon with the jetpack. Okay, before it was like this crazy fight where there's these tall pillars and I've got to, arrow down the explosive Healy beams or whatever on the dragon. But I have a jetpack now, so blow up, stab, dead. Yeah, that's fun. That was worth all these tedious steps of crafting the same stuff over and over again, where I have to make, first I have to get iron, and then I've got to put the iron in a furnace, and I got to, after it's cooked, I got to turn it into a hammer, then I got to make more iron, then I got to put that in a furnace, maybe I have to furnace it again to make it refined iron, then I got to smash it with this hammer in order to make a plate, then I've got to get a bunch of redstone, then I got to take some of these plates and cut them with wire cutters that I also had to make out of iron, and then I use that wire, some of it I need to cover in rubber, which I got from rubber trees that I cooked in a furnace, and it's like, what am I doing? How is any of that fun? Where's that leading me? That's just leading me to this stupid jetpack that all it does is ruin a lot of any of the creativity or combat that was going on. Makes it so I don't need to build as much anymore, because I'll just fly up there, and if I need more energy, just get a bunch of windmills and shove all that shit in a, connect it to a generator and recharge it with the generator. Like, there's no point. There's so many steps, so much work for something that just ruins any gameplay value. There's no fun. It's not adding things. It's not like, I'm trying to think of an example of like one of the items I really liked from a mod. All I can think of right now is the TF2 teleporter, but that wasn't really, it's not a good example of what I'm talking about. Tinker's Construct did a really good job. A lot of the mods changed Tinker's Construct, like Iguana Tweaks is awful. There are things like, one of my favorites is when they added an update to allow Tinker armor that wasn't as good as like Diamond Armor or anything. It was all right, and then you could add auto repair to it, which removed a lot of the tedium of recrafting, but it wasn't like overpowered because you still had to manage it because the auto repair wasn't that fast. You could add iron blocks to it to make it so you could walk underwater, which was really fun. Even if it's a copy off of Ocarina of Time, that Hollow Eye care, it's a fun thing to do. There was a Hexit mod that added these fun battle towers. It wasn't like there was that much creativity to the battle towers. Two mob spawners and a chest on floor after floor after floor, and then a big mean golem guy at the top of it's like, hey, I don't want you to take my stuff, I'm gonna kill you. And then you just beat him, and you get more stuff and loot, and a lot of it was fun loot, like the Sojourner's staff that in the actual mod it's from its crafting is dumb that allows you to put torches where you want them at a distance, although it costs some like energy or something, I don't remember. It might cost more torches. Or things like the lily pad of growth that would allow your crops to grow faster. It's just simple things that either make it easier, take less time, or gives you like options. I know a perfect example of what I really mean though. The items that I want added that are like really fun. There was this torch. I can't remember what the mod was at all. But if you set two of it up, it would create this invisible light beam on it that if you jump crouched on one of the torches, it would take you to the next torch by just dragging you across within a distance of I think like 10 blocks. So you could set these torches up as a little light rail system that anytime you wanted, you could just hop on by jumping on one of the torches and it would go just take you across and be super fun. And I know I'm sounding like a little retard because I'm making sound effects, and these are awful drawings. These are drawings of a child. They're basically am a child for the matters. Stupid man child. Anyways, I'm getting too self-negative here. But like, this is all like fun, and this wasn't too hard to make. I think it cost like a diamond for every 10 or something. So I'd go and find several diamonds, and I'd make a little trail, and it'd be fun to use, and it could get us around, or I could make it a floating trail too, with like floating blocks connecting, so I could get into my house like across like a chasm without mobs getting in. It just added a lot of options and creativity with just such simple items. If I used it in a cave properly, I could even make it so if I died and respawned, I could easily just jump on and go back to where I was. There's so many options for such a simple, not easy to make, but not unnecessarily complicated, full of memorization and patterns that isn't fun, it isn't impressive, it just means that you have nothing else to think about or you're not doing your homework. Like, games should be focused on using the adventurous and creative part of your brains that nothing else will, because life is boring and life is hard. But they don't do that. They try to make life harder, more complicated, because a lot of times game developers, the modders, don't have anything else that they need to do, or they have spare energy. And I'm not trying to blame every single one of them like they're bad people or something, or like they're not doing enough. I'm sure a lot of them are really amazing people, but oftentimes amazing people have extra energy and they forget that some regular people can't handle that extra stuff at all. It's not like they're not trying. They can't do it. Or maybe it's just me. It could just be me. And that's what I'm wondering. Is this just me? Is it me who's getting upset about these things? Me alone who thinks that this is all such a big problem? Like there's games that are just have no soul in it anymore. Like, hey, memorize how many dots go here, and there's 2 dots here, and you need to get the other dot to that dot so that they add up to 3. Because if they don't add up to 3, then it won't make a pickaxe. The pickaxe of giantism that can hit 2 blocks farther and then like breaks in 2 hits. It's pointless. It's a dumb item, but we're gonna make you take forever to make it. I know that was a really random ass mindless example, but I'm just tired right now and I don't want to get cut off by an interruption. I don't think I have anything more in particular to say. I could list off a lot more stuff. I could talk about the differences between Portal 1 and Portal 2, how Portal 1 I preferred, but you could say it's nostalgia glasses, and I wonder about that myself, but I do have a lot of valid points. But I think this is already too long already, and I feel like nobody's going to want to watch it. But I needed to rant, so I'm sorry. I hope you guys have a good day, and Uh, I don't think I'm crazy. I think these points are valid, but whatever. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me.